Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Popcorn and Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I'm doing a deep dive on the movie Inception that came out in 2010. It is such a great movie, such great actors, and this movie was composed by Hans Zimmer, which is one of my favorite composers as well. And this also has a great cast as well. So everybody that's in this movie is Leonardo DiCaprio, Ken would be Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Maureen Khaled, uh, Elliot Page, Tom Hardy, Killian Murphy, Tom Bergeron, and Michael Caine. And these are really great actors. I love each and every one of these actors. And so Inception's about Arthur and Cobb, or Cobb and Arthur, whatever way you want to put it. They are extractors and they perform corporate espionage and using an experimental dream sharing technology and to extract information from people's minds. Their latest target is Santo, who is impressed with Cobb's ability to multi-layer dreams within each other. And he offers to hire Cobb for the supposedly impossible job of implementing an idea into someone's subconscious, performing Inception on Robert, the son of Santo's competitor, Morantz Fisher. With the idea to dissolve his father's company, Santos promised to clear Cobb's criminal state and allowing him to return home to his children. Cobb accepts the offer and assembles a team together, a foreigner named Emery's, a chemist named Yusuf, and a college student named Adeline. And Adeline's taking the task of controlling and becoming the architect like Cobb himself. So this movie has multiple layers in it, and you don't know if you're dreaming or if it's reality in this movie as well. And it has like very good layers. It's of course directed by the famous Christopher Nolan, who did Tenet in the Dark Knight series and stuff like that. And this movie has multiple layers because you don't know if the person's a dream or awake, and the narrative is really cool. So the relationship between Arthur and Cobb are like Arthur's like the director and Cobb's like the producer of the idea. And so this is how this movie portrays, and they go and get these other people to help build like Cobb can't create anymore, so they need a different architect. And so you can also alter people's minds as well and kind of plant different ideas in their minds as well. This is what this makes this movie very unique and multi-layered because it's very well written. It's cinematography in this movie is amazing, and this is one of like the movies of our generation, I think. And people still talk about this movie still today, and it's been like 12 years that this movie's come out. I don't think they should make another movie to this just because I don't think it would be in their best interest because this movie makes you think. It's kind of like this is with your psychological. It makes you think, and at the end of the movie, did they wake up or are they in a dream? I'm not going to tell you what happens. I want you guys to think about what happens in that. But if you could go into somebody's dream and change their mind or change their way of thinking, it would be kind of cool just to see if they think differently or if they think the same way you do. And I think that's what makes this movie very unique. Each character has their own totem, and when they're in the dream, they can do that. There's a whole bunch of numbers that represent different things from different people as well. And this movie's very intricate and very, very like each time you watch it, you find something different about this movie. There's a lot of hidden Easter eggs in this movie as well. And this movie is a very interesting and complex movie. And there has been other videos that dissect this movie that have for years, and people still can't really figure out this movie. It's like very mind blowing. I also have some fun facts for you guys because you guys know how much I love my fun facts. Um, So, Christopher Nolan thought of the idea of Inception when he was 16 years old, and the script took him 10 years to write. Nolan had been fantasizing with the nature of dreams for a long time before Inception was written. I wanted to do this for a very long time. It's something I thought about often and on since I was about 16. He thought the Los Angeles Times wrote the first draft of the script even 7 or 8 years ago, but it goes back and forth, approaching the idea of in dream life as a state of reality. The movie rarely used CGI, which is really cool because they didn't really need to use CGI. In this movie, it was more practical effects, which was really cool. Rather than relying on CGI to bring Christopher's vision to life, the team used FX shots by combining live action with digital animation visual effects. That's really cool. And a lot of movies aren't done like this, and that what makes it really cool about using no CGI. They were considered to making this movie Inception 3D, but decided against it due to the consistent concern over the quality of the finished product if it rushed. The Inception team did not make the film 3D. It would have been cool to see like all the architect and stuff like that 3D, but that's okay that they didn't make it that way. Edith Piaf's song, it's a French song that I can't say. Cobb's team used the French song to translate, which I don't regret anything in English, as a kick to the sign that the time to leave a dream. So Hans Zimmer, he is a very famous composer, did like this upbeat tempo. That's how you know that they were leaving a dream or going into a dream, because it would be a softer tempo, which was really cool, really done. Hans Zimmer created the film's score by manipulating one of the beats from Platt's song. And that's played in like the beginning of the movie and some of the intricate scenes as well. The Nolan almost cut the French song after he casted Moran Collett, who ironically played Plath and Vita Rose years prior. So she played the famous person that has a song. The film was shot in 6 countries. That's really cool to go to like 6 different countries. Joseph Gordon-Levitt said the scene in the hallway was both the most fun and the most painful experience he ever had on a set. In the second level of Fisher's addition mentioned, Arthur splits down a revolving hallway to get away from the projections. Though there was a stunt team on set, Joseph Gordon-Levitt took physical training and combat practices 2 weeks before the shooting to do zero gravity fighting himself. So he did all his fighting scenes himself, which is really cool. Nolan's son Magnus played James Cobb's son in the beginning of the movie. You see his son, and he credited himself in Inception. Christopher Nolan also had his cousin Miranda as the flight attendant in the movie as well. Before Elliot Page knew about Inception, he met with Christopher Nolan as a fan of his work. Nolan incorporated a painting from Francis Bacon as his favorite artist. That's really cool how they could do stuff like that. The number shown on Arthur's totem appears several times in his dream. Arthur's totem is an object that signifies whether or not he's in dream or reality is a red pair of dice. When it is shown to Adlin, the side with the 5 dots faces the camera. In his dream at the hotel, the numbers appear several times. The hotel has at least 5 floors, 2 to 5 sign frame Joseph Gordon-Levitt several times during the zero gravity scene. The Snow Fortress image dream is identical to the one to the Giselle Library in San Diego. The license plate on USS Dream marks as the alternate state, so it reads TR659, and each number represents something to that character in this movie. The thought of Nolan intended the movie about a movie each character represents a whole film crew on a whole film crew. Christopher Nolan intentionally created the roles to minor jobs on the film set and admired the filmmaking analogy. Clearly, there's doing an interview with the weird, and that's why I said like Cobb's the director, Arthur's the producer, and helps gets the dreams going in and out and stuff like that. Leonardo DiCaprio helped Nolan make the story more emotional. Before filming, Leonardo DiCaprio met with Christopher Nolan every day for 2 months to talk through his character and the relationship to provide the symbolic, the appropriate, and huge number of his ideas. That's really cool. And we all know Leonardo DiCaprio is a method actor. The film crew, filmed the scene between Stephen, Miles, and Cobb, where Nolan met his wife Emma Thompson. According to the LA Times, the scene between Cobb and Miles was shot at the architect school at the University of College in London, the universities where Nolan studied English and met his wife Emma Thompson. That's really cool. Before the role was offered to Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt and Will Smith turned the role down before. I don't know why they did, but I think Leonardo DiCaprio makes a better Cobb than those two. I mean, like, they are both great actors as well, but I think it would have been a whole different movie if they played it than Leonardo DiCaprio. The same 4 digits appears on the train in use of Taxi in a Dream, and these numbers represent Cobb and destruction. Miles makes a reference to Leonardo DiCaprio's role in Catch Me If You Can. That's pretty cool how they reference his other movies. The code to the safe that Fisher gives to the team, 528491, appears throughout the film. And it does. Like, all these numbers are combined and jumbled together, and they represent something different in each scene. Leonardo DiCaprio said the filming of the chase scene in Morocco was the most physical and challenging part of making Inception. Nolan wrote Inception to control different narratives to the different characters. In Greek mythology, Aniline is a figure associated with labyrinths and mazes. So there's like a lot of maze drawings and stuff like that in there. And then the crew also used cannons to cause the explosion in Paris. And then Epstein's Dream was inspired by James Bond films. And then the team faced a real blizzard while filming in one of the countries that they filmed in. That's crazy. Arthur's line telling Santo not to think about elephants is a reference to George Lakoff's book Don't Think of an Elephant. The last line of the movie hints to the opening credit scene. I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into Inception, and let me know in the comment section below if you've seen this movie or what you think this movie. If you've seen it at the end, what do you think? Are they alive? Are they still moving, or are they still in dream or reality? let me know, and I hope everybody has a great weekend and have a happy Easter this Sunday. Talk to you guys later. Bye.